Rick Rude never had no wrestling skills. Mike Hickson had no wrestling skills. Scotty Norton, who I love, and he was a freak of nature. He could have played pro football easy, but he didn't have the head. And he, what were we just talking about?
The wrestling skills in street fights.
Yeah, Scotty never went out for wrestling. You got to actually go, you know that. And that gives you a big edge. So,
yeah,
Scotty Norton, who was, I love him to death. Now, Scotty's one of these guys who just seems to fall into these freaking problems. Like you heard in Japan, that one guy knocking him out, right?
I haven't heard that, but there was another story that I'm going to ask you about after you say that. Somebody said on here about Scott.
Well, Scotty, Ventura's gym was on 43rd and Lindale, Minneapolis. Right across the street was a bar called Waldo's, hardcore type drinking pool room bar. Well, Scotty was huge at the time. He was the world arm wrestling champ. Bouncing there. I take that back. He might not have been yet, but he was close. And he was a freak. And he was bouncing. And Scotty's not a mean guy, but we all got that macho crap in us. And I got a buddy of mine who's he's older than me by 4 years and knows his whole family. He's from Robbinsdale. And he is just one of them guys you don't want to mess with. He's tougher than shit. Like 6 feet, 180, and just can go. But he punched Scotty, and Scotty went down, got knocked out, lost a tooth, the whole thing. He got knocked out, lost the tooth, period. So he seems to always be in that shit.
Maybe you can confirm this, because Ernest the Cat Miller, who I'm sure you know from WCW, said he was in a confrontation with Scott Norton in WCW and Scott backed down. Do you know if there's any truth to that?
Yeah, I think there might be a little. I don't know. For guys, it's just such a horseshit word, back down, because what does it mean? There's guys that back down because it ain't worth it, and it just is stupid. And besides that, they're getting paid $350 a year, and they don't want to. Why touch that money? I'm getting fired, and now the worst thing about fighting in locker rooms or hotels or anything with other wrestlers, you're going to get quoted as hard to work with. And if you're hard to work with, back then, if the word got out you were hard to work with, well, you were never going to get a run with Hogan. You're never going to get a run with, all the top guys, because you're hard to work with. So I'd say it's 50-50 on that.